Mr. X with the Extreme Channel, and this is a co-review. I have my friend Clark with me today. Clark, how are you? He's kind of a silent guy. You know your glasses are messed up. Do you mind? I'll help you out. Okay, there we go. What? Oh my God, you're Superman! Mr. X on the Extreme Channel here. You like the purple shirt? Chicks dig it. But chicks probably dig him more. This is a custom life-size Henry Cavill Superman bust. And this is made by a custom company I'd never purchased from before, but I was highly interested in this piece, and I'd been going back and forth with the commissioner, and then I kind of ghosted him for a while because I thought I'd put it on hold, and everyone started getting them in hand, and everyone was raving, ooh, it's great. Everybody was right. It's pretty damn good. The reason I purchased him is my life-size bust collection is mostly horror and villains, with one exception. I have a Spider-Man that by Queen Studios I've actually reviewed, and that stays at my office. But the Queen Studios and the Infinity Studios Wonder Womans that are coming out just looked awesome. They looked really, really good. Here's a picture of the Infinity Studios one, and then here's a picture of the Queen Studios one. And I purchased both of them on PO at least, and I wanted to pair them with something. These are actually going to go upstairs. Mrs. X doesn't know yet. On one side of the TV, I'm going to have one Wonder Woman and him. And then the other side of the TV, I'm going to have the other Wonder Woman. And from this company, I just purchased their Christopher Reeve Superman life-size bust. My other alternative for this guy was the Infinity Studios Henry Cavill Superman bust shown here. And there are some differences, obviously. This one has the arms, has some mixed media on it, and silicone for the skin, and the hair is rooted. But that cost more than double of what this is. But I pulled the trigger on him, came in the box, great communication from the commissioner, highly recommend him. Of course, customs, we can't say where they come from, but I opened him up today, and I am blown away. I had a hard time finding some nitpicks, and I found a few, which we'll talk about, but I am ecstatic about this piece. They made 60 of them, and the retail price, I believe, was between $850 and $1,100, depending on which batch you got it in on. And his height, somebody says I say height wrong, but I like the way I say it, is about 28 inches. His deepest part is about 10.5, and he's about 21 wide. So life size is actually probably perfect. I'm muscular, just like Henry Cavill. That's how I say it, Cavill. Is it Cavill? I don't know. Don't really care. But they made 60 of these, and shipping was quite a bit. It was a very large box, custom packaging, so it wasn't molded foam or anything. It was just a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of wrapping. I felt like unwrapping Darkman when I had to unwrap him, but he was perfectly protected, and I'm just ecstatic about this. It is such a cool piece. It's done really well. Like I said, there's a few things I do differently. When we talk about concept today, I'm going to talk about design a little bit too, but conceptually, more of it's going to be about the likeness, because the likeness is spot on. It is the best likeness I've ever seen in a non-silicone statue for the skin. So starting at the bottom here, it has a traditional stand just like Sideshow does on a lot of their bust pieces, but not too much of the stand is showing. I think that's a ruin when they show too much of the stand. You can see more on the back, which we'll look at in a second. And the suit is spot on. It's the classic. I love the colors of it. The accurateness is perfect. The paint and sculpt we're going to talk about later. And I think the expression, the Cavill expression they gave was absolutely perfect. And I'm not talking about likeness yet, but it's solemn. It's concentrated. Very, very good. I like that a lot because you don't want to make him smiling. You don't want to make him mad. Very, very cool. Now let's do a few shots here of the likeness. As you can see, it's perfect. I hate to say that. It is absolutely perfect. We're going to talk about some of the coloring of the skin. There's one slight concern that I have in the paint, but other than that, I love it. It's done really well. Again, I'm kind of avoiding some topics for the paint and sculpt, which is about in a minute. Set your timer. But the other thing with the design here is his eyes light up and it's excellent looking. Here's a quick video of his eyes starting not lit up, and you actually have a dial on the back. And I'll show you that dial. Actually, there it is in the corner. And his eyes have an adjustment, so fully bright or completely off. So you can plug that in and you can choose the brightness. It is so awesome. And it picks up on camera just as good as it is in real life. And what really shocks me about that, a lot of the times when they have an eye feature that lights up, the actual eye not lit up looks pretty bad, and this looks fantastic, which you're going to see right now in the paint and sculpt. With the paint and sculpt, I am extremely impressed at all the little details. A few minor defects here and there. I'm going to focus on one or two of them. But they really spent their time on this, and if their future pieces are like this, I will be 100% happy. But let's look at the base here. I like the color they chose. It's this black gray color with shiny, this kind of dull shine. I know that's a catch-22, an oxymoron, but when the light hits it, it's really cool. There's all these flecks of black all over it. I did see on my front here, you have like 3 or 4 specks of brown that look out of place. But that is a few other places, so it could just be the scattered paint. Not a big deal. And then here's a picture of the back. As I told you, you can see a lot more of the back. And this is kind of what reminds me of Sideshow Bus. Starting at his costume here, look at the colors. I love the colors on this. They're very calculated with the colors, like where his abs are. It's a lighter blue, it's a darker blue in between the muscles. And it has that classics design, and I can't see any flaws on this. The print is great. It is really well done. Super shiny like it is in the movie. It's probably a little lighter than it is in the movie, and that could be the lights I have on it. I'll have to go back and watch the movie. And his muscles are fantastic. Great anatomy on what you can see. Obviously, you can only see part of his body. And then check out the Superman symbol, the hope symbol. I like the fact the yellow is more goldish dull, and the red just pops with the, the ornate, whatever you want to call it, display going right through the middle of the S. And it has that texture that you see everywhere on the suit like you do in the movie. Looks really good. Then check out his cape here. Awesome texture. I like the layering of the cape. It is sculpted. I honestly didn't know if it was mixed media or sculpted. One tiny issue I see is where the cape meets the torso here. It looks worn, which actually probably is very accurate. And then I want to move on to his skin. So one of the issues, I don't want to say issues, but first of all, there's a tiny little gap where his skin meets the front of his shirt collar here, and you have to be micro-examining it. But the other issue is his skin looks dirty, and I don't know if it's supposed to be dirty. I don't know if that's from the shipping. I'm scared to, rub it. That's what she said. But he would be dirty if he was just in a fight, and some of this is facial hair, but the dirt is kind of all over. Otherwise, the texture and layering of the skin and the paint make it look like real skin. I can't believe, it's resin or some type of material like that. I've never seen a custom bust look so close to human skin. It is fantastic. The dirt is the only issue I have. And again, I don't know if it's real dirt or if it's sculpted like that. But even look at his neck structure here. You can see his Adam's apple, his trachea bone, not trachea bones, but trachea, that very lifelike. Whoever did this really studied not only his portrait, but human anatomy. His chin and jaw structure are perfect, and that's where you see that 5 o'clock shadow he has coming, and it's completely painted on, but it looks like sculpt. As I look at this, he looks real. His lips are fantastic, great color. The imperfections in his nose were also captured. And again, those flesh tones, you see the pink and the peachy type color along with all the black spots. And his nose, Cavill has kind of an imperfect nose like most of us do, and they captured that exactly right. Look at his eyes. These can't be glass eyes, but they're damn close. Whatever they use for the eyes look very real. And like I said, they had to use something different because they have that light up feature behind them. And his eyebrows are sculpted and painted. They don't look like sculpt. They look like real hair. The only reason you know they're not is because of they were so perfect. And then his temple, they actually painted in some veins. It's crazy, crazy looking. His ears, excellent sculpt. At first I thought they looked small, but then I realized that Mr. X, you just have big ears. And then he has sculpted hair, where Infinity Studios, Queen Studios does rooted hair, they do real hair. It looks good. It doesn't look as good as rooted hair, but that costs a lot more money. For sculpted hair, it looks very, very good. A lot of different strands in there. They put kind of a gloss on it, which at first I didn't like, but I think it would look worse without the gloss. You know, his sideburns particularly look like real hair. That looks like it's real hair, not sculpt. But they did a great job catching it a little wavy. A few areas, I don't want to say it looks corny, it just doesn't look as good. But for sculpted hair on such a large life-size bust, it's very well done. I'm a big fan, so excited to get their Christopher Reeve. I think they're toying with some other characters too, which kind of sucks because I don't really want to expand the hero line. Maybe they'll do some villains. That'd be neat. But very happy, great customer service, and I'm just very happy. And for those of you who haven't watched this for a while, when I praise a statue, I do it because it earns it. I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. But yeah, I'm ecstatic about this. So hopefully the wife doesn't kill me. As soon as I get done editing the review, he's going upstairs to see how long it takes her to notice. Shh. But Mr. X is checking out. Let me know your thoughts on this piece. I love it. It's great. Let me know who the best Superman is. That's what we want to know. For me, it's Reeve. I grew up with him, Christopher Reeve. May he rest in peace. And I really appreciate you guys watching. And tonight I am heading to watch my Broncos get destroyed by the Chiefs at Mile High Stadium. Now you know where I live. Shh, don't tell anybody. Take care, guys. Appreciate you watching.